All right, what's up, everybody? So I'm with my client, Ryan, right? Ryan found me on it was TikTok, right? TikTok?
Yep.
TikTok. Yeah, Ryan found me on TikTok. And then he was just like he just messaged me. I think I DM'd you like a year before that though, right? I think.
Yeah.
And then I kind of was just like checking up on you and just seeing how things were going. And then one day, I posted a video, and then like a couple minutes later, I just got a random notification that Ryan had that you had booked a call, and then
Yeah.
I was like, wait, did I talk to him? Like, like what happened? Like, because I was trying to find because on there I usually have it where you can like you put your at and I can see like like if I booked
The
a call.
history of the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, and I couldn't find it. I'm like, dang, like how did he find me and stuff like that? But then I was like, oh, TikTok, because I had because I had your number and stuff. But yeah,
Yeah.
he followed me, and it's been it's been good ever since, right? So I want you to first. I'm curious to know, Ryan, like, what was it about, like, because I was talking to you for a long time, bro. Like I literally remember this. I was talking to you for a long time.
hmm
And that's usually how it goes, right? But like, what made you finally, after me a year of talking to me and listening to my content, I think it was a year. What made you reach out, right, finally, and get some help with your goals?
So there was a video that you had posted, and it was the one that just really caught my attention. You were talking about the trainers that are at the gym and how some of the workouts that they give you and what they put you through isn't necessarily the best thing. That it may cause injury or that you might not like be getting the kind of results that you're after. And kid you not, as soon as you posted that, like same day, I was already starting to feel the back pain because
All
the
right.
trainer at the gym caused an injury.
Really? Oh
And
yeah, I
so
remember you
that's
telling me that. I remember you telling
yeah.
me.
And that was the exact moment where I was like, you know what? No, I need to talk to this guy because this is exactly what happened, just what he said. So let me reach out and see if he can help me towards my goals, even if it's like, he's all the way in another state. I don't care because I don't want to get injured like that ever again.
So okay, so talk to me a little bit about that. Like what happened? Because like talk to me a little bit about. I already know, but the people don't know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your time with your in-person trainer. Like how long were you working with he or she, and then what
Mhm.
caused the injury with that trainer during that time?
So to that point, I was already working with him maybe like 3 weeks, just one session a week. Uh, for the most part, I was doing my workouts on my own, following, stuff from like Jeff Nippert or other people that I would kind of just,
Fire, fire.
track and find.
He's great.
But I wanted the in person trainer to see maybe I'm having issues with my form or maybe I'm not doing something right. So let me get this going, right? And by that third week of working with him, he had me doing a type of RDL or like actually no, not a type of RDL. I think we were legit doing RDLs to be honest.
Uh-huh.
And he was telling me that the form that I was doing that I was already comfortable with, where I was feeling it in my hammies and in my glutes,
Right.
and exactly where I should be feeling it. He told me, "Oh no, that's wrong. You're not supposed to be bending that way. You're not supposed to bend from your hip. You need to bend more and arch your back a little bit." Instantly, as soon as he had me do that, I felt something pull, and I had to sit down.
Really?
And I was just like,
I
that
told you
hurt.
about that, didn't I? When I talked about you messing up your RDL form like that? Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And I'm just like, what the heck, man? Like, you told me to do this, and now I'm down. Like, I had to sit. We stopped the workout. I'm like, nope, I'm hurting. I can't get up at this point.
Right, right.
Like, it was struggle. I was struggling to stand up and walk over to my car.
Damn. Just off one rep?
And
Like one
so
the way he told you to do it? Or
it
like a
was like two sets of
okay,
him.
okay.
Yeah. Like, I was already in the second set, and as soon as like it was already hurting from the beginning, but I was like, no, let me push through it. Maybe I'm just being a weenie. But no, like it just it pulled something the wrong way, and it just did not feel good.
Oh my God, man. And it's crazy that you say that because I used to do my RDLs wrong too. And I actually had one of my friends who's really good at RDLs. He showed me how to do it. I'm like, damn, I feel the difference, right?
Yeah.
And like an RDL, I don't want to bore people with the technicalities, but the RDL and the dumbbell deadlift are two different things. Like if you do an RDL, you don't have
Right.
to go that low, right? You saw the video.
Right.
You remember the video I
Right.
posted like that? Yep, yep, yep. I was like, when I figured
Yeah.
out how to do it, I was like, I gotta share it with everybody because my back would hurt, bro.
Yeah.
Like bad, like my back, my lower back. It's like one side of my back too. Like it's like the lower part of my back that really hurts. And I think it's like a herniated disc. And it was because I
Hmm.
did it the wrong way for so long, right? So
Yep.
trying to go all the way down, thinking that I had to do that. You don't have to do that. So, but
Exactly.
man, so like tell me a little bit like with your trainer, because a lot of people don't know, right? A lot of people don't know how much trainers are and stuff like that. How much was your, in-person trainer at the time? When you were working with them, like how much were they charging you? And then what made you ultimately reach out to them? Well, how much did they charge you? Right? How much did they charge you? And then
Hmm.
what made you realize that you had to stop besides the injury? Like, what did you go to them for type thing?
So I went to him more for like tracking ideas for your macros or getting ideas of like what I should be eating because obviously you go to the doctor and they tell you, oh no, you need to be eating like 1,500 calories and really cut this and cut that because yeah, they have a medical definition for what it is, but they don't have any idea of like the activities that you're doing or the intensity of it that you're doing it with. So as much as I trust the opinion of my PCP and everybody like that, I thought, let me get a trainer who knows a little bit more about like, okay, you're kind of going into this athletic kind of state of being, similar to the way that I was used to with my coach back in college for like UCLA cycling. It's just it made more sense to me to get like someone who already knows this stuff to help me out. And when I went to him, over at the gym, I was told like, oh, it's going to be about $600 for 8 sessions, so you can span that out over twice a week in 1 month, or over the course of 2 months. And we wound up doing the 2 month thing.
Yep.
But I barely made it 3 weeks with him. Had that injury, and then I was down for like 2 3 weeks. When I got back, he's like, okay, let's just focus on have you stretching and trying to make sure we heal that pain and treat this more like physical therapy. And
Mhm.
the entire time I kept thinking like, this isn't working. Like no matter what kind of stretching you're having me do, it's just hurting. And it's like,
Right.
it's not going to get better. I have to actually probably just rest
Hmm.
and let myself recover and heal. That way, then I can eventually start doing some stretching and start working that area. And when I started with you, that's exactly the first thing that you told me. You're like, if this is too painful, don't do it
Right.
because you're just going to exacerbate your injury and make it worse.
Yep.
So just take it easy. If you feel any kind of pain, back off of it and just slowly work that spot until you get to this place where, okay, you can move it again.
100%. Like that was one of the main things that that we talked about like for the longest on our call that we had, with me and you, right?
Yeah.
Um, was that your first ever personal trainer that you got? Like your first ever trainer, like ever?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I did have one through like ABC Trainerize, but his program, honestly, like he didn't have the client calls. He didn't he didn't check in really all that often. He was really lagging on like uploading the workouts and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Even just simply for like because the way you have it now, obviously, it used to be gone ahead and scheduled, but now you have it in that little. It's like a little like a dumbbell thing, or not a dumbbell, but like a
I'm glad
whatever
you
that icon is on the app.
Yeah, I'm glad that you realize that, but because like a lot of my clients don't realize that. They don't know that. They just kind of like, yeah, can you put the workouts in? I'm like, they're already in. Like, so
Yeah, yeah. And all you got to do is click that little kettlebell, and then you click which day of the week that you are starting your workouts on or whatever, and you start the workout, and that's it.
man, that's it. I thought it was that
And
easy.
you can even schedule it yourself if you want to. That way you can keep yourself on track and responsible. Or
Yep.
you just go into the kettlebell and you just do whichever workout suits you for that day for whatever it is that you're doing.
Man, no, facts, facts. So, um, Man, okay, man, this is great always talking to you. So, let's get back on track. Let's get back on track.
Yeah,
So, okay, so since doing in person, right? Since doing
yeah.
a random, trainer on ABC Trainerize, what differences have you noticed from, doing, working with the in-person trainer, working with, this random trainer on Trainerize, versus, the program that you are in with me right now? What main differences have you noticed so far? And also what results have you seen so far, in the program, in the last 5 months? Yeah, in the last 5 months.
Yeah, so with the first ABC trainer, like it was very much, Wild West, do what you're gonna be able to do or do what you want to do. He wasn't really checking in, so
Mm,
like that wasn't benefiting me at all. Even in terms of like what I had requested from you, like I want to improve my performance on the bike. Like it's not so important that I looked all jacked or whatever. Like that'd be great, but obviously as a cyclist, the requirements are a little bit different.
a lot.
Um, and then with the in-person trainer, the biggest turnoff for me was obviously the injury.
Yo,
Like,
man.
how do you tell someone who's already comfortable doing a movement and like it was feeling good and I felt it in all the places you're supposed to feel it to then change their form, then create an injury? Like, it wasn't working for me at that point. And then switching back to you and you're telling me, yeah, don't do that. You're doing that wrong. But why are you doing this wrong? And then you find out, oh, it's because that guy told you to do that. Okay, don't do that.
Just to find out
Go
that
back to
the
what
first
you're
time you were
doing.
doing it was right.
Yes. And so,
Right.
obviously switching to you, it's been a complete 180 because even the trainer at the gym said, oh, yeah, we'll give you your macros, we'll give you your calorie count, we'll do all this stuff for you.
Hmm.
Never once did he do it. So
Man.
it's like if you're hiring someone to do a job at that point and
Right.
they're not doing that job, well, doesn't it make sense to then not have that person under your employ anymore and like find somebody who's actually going to help you?
Yeah. 100%.
And so reaching out with you, like in those 5 months, I mean, we're talking, obviously, I was dealing with injury and trying to bounce back from that. Uh, my work schedule, kind of gets a little bit crazy as well because we get audited and then it just gets insanely busy. Um, and then I think like there was 2 weeks there where, sorry, I don't know if you can hear me, lawnmowers. Um,
I hear you all good.
okay. Yeah, I'm out here doing my steps right now. Um, but there was like 2 weeks there where I caught some kind of illness where I could not keep any food down. I'd like put something in my mouth and like 2 minutes later, I was running to the bathroom and just, either blowing up chunks or just, getting it out of me for some reason. And I don't know what the heck was wrong with me, but so I think I spent like 2 or 3 days just having not eaten
Hmm.
and just drinking nothing but water. I think the only thing I had in my system at that point, because even my doctor said, like, you have some kind of an infection, like, let's just figure this out. So just eat nothing but jello and fluids. And that's all I could do. Because even drinking a protein shake, I was just, getting that out of my system right away.
Right. Right.
So, you know, although we didn't see the kind of progress that we thought we'd see because of all of those hiccups and all of those things that got in the way, I still saw enough progress to where it's like, no, this works. And if I'm injury free, if I'm completely healthy, if I'm free from any stress because of work and all that, like it's gonna just fly off of me.
Hmm. Hmm. And you still lost 15, like I think 15, 10 to 15 pounds, almost 20 pounds, right? And you
Yep.
were dealing with injuries and sickness and, and crazy work, right? During
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah.
Mm. Man,
Yeah.
so
Cause I mean, I have that like that desire in me. And that's the big part of it. It's willpower to a certain extent. Cause if you don't have the desire for something, or if you don't have that willpower within yourself to say, no, like I am going to get this done. I need to get this done
right,
because this isn't for anybody else. This is for me.
absolutely.
Then doing any program with anybody, especially with you, it's not going to work because
And,
then you're just checked out.
and
You're
that's what
dipping your toes in.
I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you say that because a lot of people don't understand that, right? So like
Yeah.
I'll tell them like I can give you like in to your and let me know if I'm wrong, right? with you being in the program, I map everything out very
Yep.
detailed for you, like you know exactly what to do, right? But
Yep.
a lot of people don't understand that the desire, right, in your why for why you have to do it is it has to be deep. Because on the days that you don't want to track your food, the days that you don't want, like, look, Ryan is out there getting his steps in right now, right? So that's a man on a mission, right? So if you're not going to get your steps in, you're not going to track your food and stuff like that, and you try to come into the program, right? It's going to be very hard. You're going to be wasting your time. Like I try to tell people, like you have to have that. I can give you everything X's and O's, right? But I can't give you the desire and the will, right? That's the only thing
Yeah.
that I can't give you, right? So I'm glad that you actually said that, bro, because that was important. That actually was
Yeah.
very right. And with you just having will, right, the will to do it, you still lost 20 pounds in the last 5 months, and
Hmm.
you were injured, right?
Yeah.
Like going through real life stuff. Like people, just unmotivated and don't go. Like, no, you actually had
Yeah.
real things going on, right? Like I remember you fell off your bike and you had I thought you
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, and you sent me the picture and I'm like, whoa, bro, are you all right? Like, he's like, no, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll be back in the gym in 2 or 3 days. I'm like, what? Like, I'm like, bro, I thought you like you had got into a brawl with Mike Tyson or something, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Because I had a full on black eye. I had a cut on my face. Like I had some road rash, which that I've had before, so I can live with that.
uh-huh.
But like, and I don't want to say because of the program I didn't have any soreness. Like for sure, I was still kind of sore, especially like the first couple of days after. But
Mhm.
I bounced back, and I'm like, no, like even with all this happening, I can't stop going to the gym. I can't stop showing up because like this is something I need to do. This is for my longevity. This is for my life. This is for my health.
Right. 100%. 100%. So talk to me because I know we met in December. You joined the program like late
Mm-hmm.
December. And then you had your first 30 days in the program. Tell me about your first 30 days. Tell me about your experience in the program, like the first 30, 60 days. Like what was your experience like? Like what do you think was the most beneficial aspect of everything? Um, for your first 30, 60 days.
Yeah, so definitely in those first 30 days, obviously, you and I were dealing with the fact that a lot of the movements I couldn't do because I'd feel it. And I'm like, nope, I can't. Like I could do everything else in my upper body, but anything with my lower back or my core right now, it's extremely painful.
Mhm.
Um, and so you gave me different variations. You even said like in the app, as long as you target the same muscle groups in some way, that's a little more comfortable. Make those substitutions, and that's okay. If you can't do something, don't pressure yourself or force yourself to do it because you're just going to hurt yourself further. And you were really open with me about that, and that was great. And so, like in those first 30 days, what I noticed was okay, the pain in my back, it's still there, but I'm moving. I'm able to move in that area. I'm able to move my body a little bit better. Like I think we had talked about like me wanting to be able to like play around with my nephew and my niece, me
Yep.
wanting to just overall be able to get out of bed and go to work and just do normal things that people should be able to do that I couldn't do at that time.
Mhm.
Um, and it got to that point where, oh shoot, I can pick up my niece now and it's not a problem, or like I'm getting out of bed and I'm feeling it a little, but it's not hurting me as bad as it was.
Mhm.
And so I was making a lot of progress in terms of my overall strength. I think by the 60-day mark, we had gotten to the point where, like, yeah, you had pull ups with that um, the assist step or whatever that's on there. And that was helping, obviously. But then one day I just kind of sent you a little video where I just decided to do it without the assist. And I was finally able to do like my first two pull ups. And I'm like, hey, you know what? They might be sloppy, they might not be perfect, but I
Oh, it
did
was
it.
good. It was good though. It was good.
And it felt great.
Yeah.
And that to me was like, this for me is what I'm talking about progress. Like, I don't care if I look like Adonis. I don't care if I look like Hercules. It's more how am I feeling and what I'm able to do with my body because I should be able to do these things.
Mhm. Mhm. So yeah, we was able to get back that phase of getting you to be able to move the way that you want. And
Yeah,
that's important. I
yeah,
really because a lot of people they can't move the way that they want, bro. So like that was a
yeah,
big thing, right? Now
yeah.
how what aspect of, I know that you seen, it seemed like the substitutions were like a big thing for you, like being able to substitute, workouts to do in the app. Um, did the
Mhm.
client community, really help you out a lot, or any of the live calls or anything like that? Because I know you joined a handful of those before injury, I mean before you got sick and everything and injury. Were
Yeah,
those beneficial to you as well when you were yeah, were those beneficial to your journey?
honestly, yeah. It's been inspiring to see a lot of the guys that are on there. Like, I forget his name, but that guy that dropped like 50 to 60 pounds or something like that.
Princeton.
In, yeah, like a really short amount of time. It was just like, what in the world? Like, this works. And so I knew I wasn't buying into anything that was like, oh, like this is just some sort of fad diet, or this is
Right.
just something that like is gonna work for a quick fix, or let's go ahead and pop some Ozempic. And I'm not trying to knock Ozempic or anything like that. There are people with legitimate medical needs that
Right, right.
do need that assistance, and I'm totally for it. But there wasn't some sort of cheat code to it. It was just, hey, this is a lifestyle change. And as soon as you start adapting to it, and as soon as you start buying into it, it just takes off. And
Faster.
you get, it's not even something that you get like adjusted to or get used to. It's just, this now becomes something that's like second nature, and it's easy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And having that community there that was sharing all their progress, having all the client calls that you would do, where I think you even had that session where you were doing workouts in the gym during the client call and trying to explain
You
to
think
people
I should
like,
do
okay,
that
this is
again?
what you should do here.
You think I should
Yeah,
do it again this weekend? I mean this week?
honestly, like I found it super helpful because it was really just overall informative,
Okay.
especially with a lot of the things that you tend to, like a lot of the workouts that you have now for me, right? Where it was like, I think there was like a bent over bicep extension where I'm supposed to be seated.
Oh, yep.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
being able to do that, I'm like, okay, like I've seen him do this before. I've seen like the video that he has posted on the app. Like, I know what I'm supposed to do and how the form's supposed to feel and what I'm supposed to be targeting.
Okay.
And just the client calls that you have where you're checking in with us like this, or even like just as a group, it's just, it feels so good to know that, like, hey, even if I'm not like 100%, and like if we've got 80% of the effort in because one thing or another, like if I'm not tracking everything right away because stuff goes on and I just get extremely busy,
Right, it
you're
happens.
not like, you're hard on us for sure. Like, you're holding us accountable,
Got to.
but you're not like putting us down or telling us, what, no matter what, I'm still seeing you make progress. I'm still seeing you put in that effort in, even if you're not like, you know, buying in 100%. And you, like you told me earlier, like I've only maybe done like 80%, especially with the last 2 weeks being in Japan. Like, I couldn't track anything.
Yeah,
Like,
that
I
was a little
was,
different. I wouldn't be able to read
yeah,
it, so that's a little different. Yeah, so that's a little different.
yeah. Like, and I couldn't even read it. So I don't know what the heck was in some of the stuff I ate, but it was still good. Um, but like, you're hard on us for sure, but you're not like, not some sort of dictator that's like, no, you're not doing this. Oh, get out of my program. Like, you're still believing in us, and that feels so good. It's just, it's reaffirming, it's reassuring, and it's also just, everything that you've been giving us is has been really helpful.
Man, I appreciate it, man. It's funny that you said the dictator thing. That shit is funny. But yeah, man, because I'm a human being and I understand like things are gonna happen. I don't expect you to be
Yeah,
perfect. I don't expect you to
yeah,
be. If you were perfect, you wouldn't need me.
right.
Like that's what coaches need to understand. Like if they were perfect, they wouldn't need you, bro. Like so you have to understand that they are human beings. Like you guys are gonna fall off. You guys are gonna have things that happen. But it's my job as the coach to yeah, like to course correct you and get you back on the right path, but also reassure you and let you know like, hey, like just because you messed up here doesn't mean it's the end.
Yeah,
Because most people would be, I don't know if you ever had this on your journey, like the all or nothing mindset. Like if I don't do
mhm,
everything perfectly, then I'm not gonna get the results. So I might as well just eat what I want, do what I want, like type thing. I don't want you guys
mhm,
to get that mindset because I understand that progression is better than perfection, right?
right.
And anyone that's watching, because people will watch this, I will, send it over to them. Just know
Yeah,
that we guys like something key that Ryan said was, I don't teach you like a fad diet. I don't teach you like a quick fix. Like the results are quick if you have work ethic. Am I right? Am I right, Ryan? If you got work
Yeah,
ethic,
yeah,
you will get the results fast, right? But if you're looking to put in little to no work and expect a high output, you're not going to get that here, right?
yeah,
I want you guys to like take it day by day and enjoy, like he said, lifestyle change. Once you switch, right, to okay, like look, I'm just here to learn and I'm here to turn this into a lifestyle. Ryan said something that was key that you I do not want you guys to look past. It got easy once he just like just got accepted the fact that this needs to become a lifestyle.
yeah.
And that's the part that people don't want to, accept. Once you accept that this is a lifestyle, tracking my food every day, hitting my steps, doing my workouts. Once you've accepted that this is a lifestyle of yours, this will be easy. This will
Yeah.
be easy, right? Because you won't be resistant towards it. Now well, I know that you're an athlete, so it's probably a little bit easier for you to accept the fact because you're used to being, you bicycled at a high level, collegiate level, so
Mhm.
it's a little easier for athletes. But like how did you how did you accept, the lifestyle so fast? Because like I know some people in my program, some of them, right? Not everybody, some of them. It takes them
Mhm.
about 3 to 5 months for them to finally realize, like, oh shit, this has to become a lifestyle before, I start seeing results. But you accepted it pretty fast, right? So like
Mhm.
how do you think that you were able to, um turn this into a lifestyle so fast, bro? Like how were you able to like just kind of accept that?
Um, so I'll be fully transparent. Like, I think because of the time that I spent, obviously, cycling in college and even just time spent, constantly in drum lines and marching bands and all things like that, right? Like, I got to this point where, like, I became very disciplined when I was told to, like, hey, this is what you should be doing. So just make sure you're on top of it and you're good. So things like, use ChatGPT to make a macro diet for you and make sure you're tracking your meals like that. That never really came as a difficult thing to me. Um, Especially because, as soon as I get programmed that way, it's just kind of like, all right, I can keep doing this and I can keep making sure that I'm on top of it. And even if I need to make like a quick meal substitution, like if I'm supposed to eat turkey or ground turkey, I can easily make a switch for that for like ground chicken or something.
Right. Hmm.
Um, and that's just because, sometimes I get tired of eating ground turkey, right? Like eating the same thing day in and day out, or like having a lettuce wrap here and there. Like maybe I don't want that this day.
Hmm.
Well, what do? I use the tools that Coach George gave me and go in and make a quick substitution on what ChatGPT had for that menu and make the change right there. And that's it's as easy as that. The hard thing for me, at least in terms of the lifestyle thing, was like measuring all the spices and the ingredients that I
Hmm.
was using to season the food. Because I knew that was adding calories, and I don't use much of it, but like things like paprika, things like if you're putting like say a coconut sugar for like a crusting, or if you're using like a honey glaze, which I don't really do to be honest with you, but if you're like all of these spices do add something to your food,
Right.
and sure they add flavor, and we all love that, and we love
Right.
how it tastes, but they add things to the calories, they add things to the overall content of your food. And so you have to make sure that like the hardest thing I struggle with, because I'm from a very predominantly Mexican household where we measure things in what we call tantitos, and it's like you just cup it in your hand. It's like, that looks good enough, and throw it on there. And it's like now I'm actually like, okay, let me get a tablespoon, let me get a teaspoon, make sure I'm measuring this accurately. Oh, this needs like a quarter cup, so make sure you use a quarter cup. Like I got all the tools to make sure I'm doing that because I wasn't doing it before. Um,
You
and
can take you can get more zero calorie seasoning so you don't have to do like, take that extra mile too. But
exactly,
yeah, like and for you guys that are listening like that, hear that and like, oh, that's extra. No, that's what's required.
yeah,
Like I always tell like my people, I'm like, don't do what's Don't do what you want to do. Do what's required. Don't do what you
Right.
think you have to do. Do what's required. All right.
Yeah.
If you're required to work 40 hours a week from your job to make a certain amount of money to pay your bills, you'll do what's required to survive. Right. Same thing
Yep.
with you. If I tell you to do 10,000 steps, which are not hard to get, right?
No.
You have to do what's required to get the result for your specific body. People's body are different.
Yep.
Like people hold weight differently. Like people are more stubborn than other people. Like, so if I tell you that you have to get a certain amount of steps and you're like, well, that's too much. I'm like, well, that's required for your body. So what do you want? Do you want the excuses or do you want the result? Right. So
Hmm.
that's one thing that I have, I think because like you said, like, like you see a lot of these people losing, weight, pretty fast. I've created like a community, and you can let me know if I'm wrong. Um, we've created a community, bro, like we're very like we're supportive, but we're also like very results driven.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's great that we hold each other accountable for that.
Hmm.
Um, because like I think for me especially, I got so used to even back like I mentioned with cycling constantly, I was on a team and we were performing and working together as a team. And you get so used to that to where the moment I graduated and I wasn't on a team like that anymore, like I was just kind of doing whatever I wanted to do. I had a laissez-faire attitude and just, oh yeah, I can go for a ride today. I'd rather sleep in, or like I can eat this today. It's fine. I'll burn it off tomorrow. And it's really easy to just get off track, especially if you're just doing it by yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
But the moment you have people with you that are like, no, come on, man, let's go. We got to do this today. Like this is the plan. Like we're working together. It's not just you. It's us. It's all of us together. Like it helps.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with you probably are, bro. You're intelligent. I knew that from the first time we had our conversation. Are you familiar with the quote? Um, if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you want to go far, go together. Familiar
Yeah.
with yes.
Yeah.
And I was very when I heard that quote at first, I didn't understand it, right? But then I
Yeah.
thought about, because I didn't play at the collegiate level, but I did play sports all my life. And when you said that, when you finally had an opportunity, when you finally was working out on your own, right? It was easy for you to let
Yeah.
yourself off the hook because for so long you had teammates, right? And I was the same way, right? I was like, man, like, I went, basically 18, 19 years of my life, having teammates pushing me, coaches, and then not to have that, it was very hard, right? So I find that when, especially people who are former athletes, right, in my program, they get better results, but they're also able to. And I was just talking to somebody about this. His name is Travis. He's in the program. Athletes just do better in team environments. Like I noticed that people that have never been on a sports team before or never really worked out before, well, not worked out before, but never worked with a team. It's very hard for me to coach them. Like I have to coach them a lot harder, if that makes
Right.
sense. Right. Because they're so about themselves, right? Um, but that was no, you dropping some straight fire, bro, some straight knowledge, bro, for these people.
Yeah. And I mean, that just goes back to our basic instincts because we we as a species and as creatures on this earth, right? We thrive in community. Like we crave that belonging of being together with others.
Hmm.
And like people think like, oh well, I didn't play on a sports team, like I'm not used to that. It's not that you're not used to working together. You are. You want that. Like you instinctually crave that.
I never
And the
thought.
moment you get into a community, like it's easier because then you're together. You have that bond with others that are on that same journey with you, and you can share the experience.
Hmm. Hmm. So how important do you think community is, bro? Like, especially on your journey, like how do you think, yeah, how important would you say community and having people on the same journey as you, like, and having the group chat, how important do you think that is to someone's journey?
Honestly, like I think it comes probably second to diet. Because sure, the quality of work that you're putting in, like that's super important. I'd probably put that third. Mostly because to me, diet, like if you get locked in with your macros and you keep on top of that, you're doing all the steps and everything that you need to, like even if you're like able to do 80% in the gym, like I saw with myself because of the injuries,
Right.
you're still able to make progress.
Yeah. I was trying to tell people that. All right, my bad, my bad. You just dropping
You're good. You're good.
so much knowledge.
And then the second thing, obviously, to me is that community. Because on days like heck, I mean, even during the middle of the program, I lost my best friend. I was so just distraught and really just depressed, and it really hit me. And I'm like, I really don't want to get up today. I really don't want to wake up. I really don't want to go to work. Like, I need a day to process what I just went through. But I had like all these people in the group chat that were not only supportive of what I was going through, and you were extremely supportive of what I was going through. You're like, you know what? I completely understand what you're going through. I'm so sorry. But seeing that people were still like, hey, you know what? I'm locked in. I'm going to the gym. Like, I'm doing what I need to do. Like, even if, even if it's a rainy day, I'm still getting out there and hitting these steps and hitting all this. Like that for me, especially during that time, and especially when you're having those bad days, it helps. It's fuel for whatever it is that you need it to be because you're not doing it on your own. Even if like I'm miles away from all of you guys that are able to do and meet in person and go to the gym together,
Mhm.
but it still feels like you guys are like right there with me.
Yeah. Oh, that's fire. That's fire. So, man, you've been dropping some straight knowledge, and I definitely feel the same way because, when I first started my journey, before I was always blessed to have like friends in college to work out with me. So I really never really had to 100% be a lone wolf. Like, of course, I had to for an extended period amount of time, but in the beginning of your journey, right, you need
Yeah,
people, right? So I understood like when I finally didn't have them and I was sitting back and I was like, man, like, just this all falls on me. Like there's no one checking in on me. There's no one like it's fitness can get kind of lonely because it is a lonely sport. It really like when they
yeah,
say it's you versus you, it truly is. Like you're trying to just outdo what you did the day before. And
yeah,
sometimes you have to rely just on yourself. It's very hard to do, right? But when you
yeah.
have people in the group chat, like how we have people in the group chat, and they're killing it in the same predicament as you, right? And they're killing it. It's so motivational and it's so priceless, bro, that I want people just to understand that like just accountability in the community alone, right? At the price point that I give it. It's really like worth it. Like
Yeah.
if you just looked at the group chat every day, hit your macros, you would see results,
Yep.
right? If you never talk to me, well, you should. That would just be dumb. But like,
Yeah.
like, but if you just did your workouts, looked at the group chat every day, and then like just watch the group chat and just hit your macros, bro, you would see results. Like
Yep.
you would have great transformation. Now, with that being said, man, I know you got things to do. You're a busy guy. So, last question that I have for you,
Yeah.
Ryan, is this like, anybody, because I know some people on TikTok be watching me too. Let's say that, it took you about a year to finally reach out.
Mhm.
Let's say that person has been watching my content for a minute now, and they were saying in a similar position as you, like tried trainers, but it really didn't pan out the way that they would like it.
Mhm.
Tried different things to get the results, but they're just not seeing them, right? But they're watching you crush it. They're watching me crush it on the stories every day. What would you recommend? Like, what would you recommend to them, and would you recommend them joining the program and coming to come kill it with us?
Honestly, because of the progress that I've been seeing, like I don't see any reason why not to pull the trigger and joining with us. The quality of the workouts, the community alone, it's just these are intangible things that are irreplaceable.
Yeah.
And being with that in-person trainer in the gym, it was just me and that one guy. It's not like it was a group thing where I was working with like, other people and we were all doing the same workouts together. Like even on certain days or on one of the days, he told me, oh yeah, I'm going to push you. Like, because I think you can do different types of movements that I'm going to experiment with, which in my head, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not your test subject, man. Like, this is not a good idea to be doing. You can test on yourself all you want, but
Right.
don't make me do this. Because what if I get hurt? That's gonna suck for me.
And him. Right.
Yeah. Because look at the situation now. He lost a client. So, you know, it's just I think to me it's kind of a no-brainer, especially with all the things that you're constantly post because you can copy as many workouts or programs that people post online as you want. But that only is going to get you what maybe part of the way because sure you might get some performance benefits, but you're not going to see the kind of results that you want to see.
I try to tell them that, but I don't know why they don't understand that. Like you,
Yeah,
you need customization, not generalization.
yeah,
Like, like look, I go out because you watch on my TikTok, I give out a free workout every day.
yeah,
And people still hit me up in the DMs, bro, what should I do for back day? I'm like, don't you watch the content? Like
yeah,
why don't you just because they need something more for them,
yeah,
right? So when because I really was sitting back, I'm like, why are people asking me what workouts to do? And I post a new workout to try every day.
yeah,
But then it hit me. I could post a workout 3 times a day, 4 times a day, and they'll still ask because
yeah,
customization is key, right?
yeah,
You need something 100% for you, especially in somebody in your situation because you bicycle so much, right?
yeah.
Yeah, like you need custom, and I think that was one of the first things that I told you, like
Yeah, because it's I know, and especially with the amount of cycling that is, I'm hoping to get back to because
I
we're
knew you
talking.
cycled, but I
I
didn't
want
know
to start
you cycled
racing by the
that much.
fall.
Yeah, yeah, because I knew you cycled, but I didn't know you cycled that much. And I was like, oh, okay, you're treating this like, like this is serious. And you're like, yeah, like I'm trying to get back into it. I'm like, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, because you're talking. I want to start racing again. Like I want to hit those crits and be able to maximize my power output and get those preems and get first place, get second place, whatever it is. Like I want a podium. Like I want to go on 100-mile rides and feel like it's nothing as soon as I'm done with it. Which I'm still gonna feel it. Like I'll be real, but I don't want that recovery period to be that long, and I want to be able to finish like in the top 10 as opposed to I think my highest finish back in college, I was like eighth out of a group of like 50 people, which, that's still good. It wasn't bad. I still got points and stuff, but man, it would have felt good because I helped my teammate in that same race to get third place.
Yeah.
Because the way that cycling works, you have these guys that are in the front that are obviously your shield for the wind, and they're holding your sprinters back behind you. I had no idea that what my teammate decided to do because it's not like he told me like that he was doing this at all. He got on my wheel. We had avoided like some guy that went down. He crashed basically, and we went around him. He got right on my wheel because I was starting to catch up to the lead pack. And then I think we had like a lap and a half to go, and I was getting gassed because there was a really strong headwind. I was fading. I was pulling so much, and I felt like I'm constantly pulling here, and I'm pulling a group like this sucks. And sure enough, he was able to get out from behind my wheel, sprint up ahead. He got into the top three and he finished that race. And he
You ever
forever in a day
think
thanks me for that.
man, he'll probably convince himself that he did it himself. But did you ever think about being a cycling coach?
Um, Thought about it for a while. I know it's a huge time commitment. Because I would have loved to go back to like say for example the UCL cycling team and been a coach for because they have an A squad and a B squad. I would have loved to have coached the B squad and get them to the point where they're ready to join the A's. Um, Unfortunately, with my line of work, I'm just way too busy. I mean, you're talking. I work as an aerospace engineer, so I'm here like sometimes 10, sometimes 12 hours a day. Other days, I've got tutoring afterwards because, to me, it's always been important for me to be able to give back to my community in terms of academia and like the students that I work with. So I'm always trying to make sure that I'm helping kids like with their SATs or with their classes and making sure that they're not struggling because I know what it was like to struggle. I know what it was like to not be able to have access to a tutor or to not be able to feel like I was as successful as I could be in school. And so I'm always trying to help like kids out to, you know, be more successful in their schooling. At the same time, with all of that, I'm doing obviously the program with you, and then I'm still cycling, and then I recently joined the UCLA alumni band. So,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, you have a lot going on, bro. Yeah, you have a lot.
yeah, even in that regard, I'm still even trying to plan a wedding with my fiance and like, you know, keep engaged with all of that. So it's tough.
My bad, bro. Yeah, bro. Like yeah, you have a lot going on. Yeah. So I just not thought about that. Yeah, it'll kind of be hard to coach and do all that. Maybe after the wedding and um, I don't know if work will ever slow down if as an aerospace engineer. I don't know if it'll ever slow down, but
No, probably not. But
yeah,
I'll find
probably.
ways.
Yeah, like yeah, you know if yeah. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I don't see it, but like maybe one day,
Yeah, maybe.
you know, when you start doing the races and stuff again, you'll be like, yeah, look, I gotta lock back in. I want to, start coaching because I know for my high school basketball team, like as my basketball coach, after I graduated college, um, in 21, right after I graduated,
Mhm.
he hit me up and he was like, hey, look, I see your, you on Instagram and Facebook. This was Facebook. See me on Facebook. He's like, yeah, well, we need a strength and conditioning coach. I think you'd be perfect. Went back. That was a huge time commitment, right? If I was still
Yeah,
doing that, I would still be able to coach you guys, but I wouldn't have been able to put the amount of effort and time to this as I do, yeah, as I do now. First, I get paid
yeah,
way a lot, a ton more than I do because that was high school. So like I was getting like a
yeah,
stipend for a year. I got to go to their games, which I didn't mind because their games was fire, right? I love it.
yeah,
You got to go to games. You got to train them 2 or 3 times a week. And I was training like the basketball and the football team. So yeah, it's a huge time commitment, bro. Like, I know that like towards the back end of my my life, I definitely want to get back into coaching. Because I coached basketball, right?
hmm
Middle school. I never coached high school. I'm gonna get back into that. So, but I was a strength and conditioning coach, right? So,
yeah,
and that's a whole different level. That's why I know what you were talking about. Like, it wasn't to that extent, right? Of course, because you have to, because you in your specific cycling, you have to focus more on core, legs, glutes, because you're on that seat all the whole time. Legs got to be strong
hmm
up those hills. So I'm thinking like, man, like your macros have to be dialed in a way that like you still have enough carbs to get you through races like that, but we still need a low
hmm
point where you can still lose fat. And that is tricky. I'm not
yeah,
gonna lie to you. That is not if someone's like, oh yeah, I can just easily do that. Like, bro, they're fucking lying, bro. Like that
yeah.
is
No, it's so hard.
because I could cut you, right? But then it's like, then you're like, oh well, George, I'm not performing that well in my races like how I want. Like you want kind of the
Yeah,
best of both worlds type thing. Because
yeah,
I take more of a if you notice by now, like I take more of a bodybuilder like approach, right?
hmm
Like to build your body because they have the best. If for anybody that's watching this, like I'm gonna give you the sauce. Bodybuilders have came up with the best ways to build your physique. Don't try to reinvent the goddamn wheel, right?
yeah,
Don't try to reinvent it. They did that for a reason. Now it's
yeah,
more systematic than before, but they came up with the best way. So I follow that specific blueprint to get my clients the best results, right? Now, when athletes like yourself come in and they want like a little bit more, hey, I want to, be able to do like bro, did you know I trained somebody to help them run a marathon before? I think
no,
I
I didn't know that.
yeah,
No.
bro, that shit was hard. I helped him do it. He's like, it's like just imagine like it was like 2 months in, he lost all the weight that he wanted to lose. He's like, you know what, bro? I want to run a marathon. Can you help me run it? I'm like, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So I stayed up. So I literally stayed up and did his plan for like, bro, a whole day. Like I'm just like,
Yeah,
look, I've never ran a marathon, so I'm over here looking up stuff, and I'm like, okay, how can I get the right macros from? Bro, I'm looking at the right exercise he can do. I had to reprogram. I would never do it again. But I was like, fuck it. I'm like, I want to see, bro. He did
yeah,
really, he did really good. Now, if you want to run a marathon, I'm not gonna help you do that because that's a whole
yeah.
different. That's a whole different marathon. That's a whole different beast. I can't do
Don't
that.
worry, we're good. I don't like running.
Yeah, like no. But like I did it before and it was fun. It was cool. Like to see him like to do really well. Like, yeah. But it's like
Yeah,
I'll never do
yeah.
that.
Cause like you said, it's extremely difficult. It's completely different because even when I was on the dieting that we had back with our coach on the cycling team,
Yeah,
it's completely different from the way that I'm eating now.
yeah, 100%.
Like it's a night and day difference. The amount of sugars that I was eating before, because even though those little goo packets that we're supposed to take, like, oh, take one before a race and then like one in the middle and then one after to help recover a little bit, like they are so high in sugar, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's because you need that in order for those bursts of energy when you're riding, because you're burning through all your sugar reserves in your body.
Yep.
And at the same time, what happens too is like you're building a lot of lactic acid up in your legs, and you need a way to recover.
Well, you probably couldn't. Damn. I was gonna say you could have like a carb in the race, but then that means you'd have to keep like a pack, right? Like something
Oh,
like.
that's easy. There's
Oh,
a pocket in your jersey. You just pull that out and snack on it.
oh, okay. So like you could do like a low calorie, but like high. Like I would do. Look, I don't know nothing about bicycling, so like just take this with a grain of salt. I'm not gonna act like I know, but like if I was doing that, have you ever tried have you ever tried I would have a rice cake. Like I just have a rice cake, like just a rice
Yeah.
cake. Yeah, I would just
Yeah, I
have
used to do that all the time. I'd have a rice cake that I'd make at home, and then I just pull that out, eat it real quick, and then just put it back in my pocket.
okay, okay, cool, cool. That's fire. Have you ever tried they're called electrolyte packets and you just put it in your water? Okay,
Yep.
cool. Well, yeah. So yeah, I was gonna say just have something like that because it's like it's a lot less sugar than like Gatorade. Because Gatorade has
Yes.
bro, all Gatorade now is sugar. Like
Yeah.
it used to be like for athletes, now it's just for the regular person walking who don't even work out. But we ain't gonna
Yeah.
talk about that. So yeah, but with that being said, bro, um man, I appreciate you for taking the time out, bro. I'll definitely talk to you real soon about your plan. And, we've extended Ryan has extended with us with the program with me for another 5 months, right? So
Yep.
glad to have him, man, and I really appreciate you for taking the time out, man. Anything that you need, you can always come to me, man. I really appreciate it.
For sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course, man. Thank you. And I appreciate you too.
anytime, bro.